What's going on, guys? No, I haven't made a video in a while, but I was going through my old footage and I've got like 4 intros and none of them really make any sense, so I figured I'd come out here and kind of summarize what's been going on with the car. So as you can tell by the remnants of the paint pen, we went out to the track to our final street legal event of the season, and I'll include some clips. I'm not going to give anything away too much, but we ran into some issues and actually I will go into it a little bit. So the one really cool thing was it ran a 204 60 foot on the new tire setup, which is really good. That's really good for this car. So but everything afterwards was slower. So anyways, I won't give away too much, but we you know, didn't get the new personal best, right? Car ran a little bit slower. Decided to basically call it for the end of the season. And so afterwards, I wanted to go through the fuel system because, like I said, after the 60 foot, every number was slower. So I'm reviewing the video I had from when I ran the 14.28, and I can hear it. You know, it gets into second gear and it just sounds like it's higher in the RPM range. Like it's just got more torque behind it. The shifts were okay. The shifts were much better. A few of the shifts were really hard, but again, it didn't have any torque behind it. When it ran the 14.2, it slams into gear, but it also has torque pushing you behind it. Whereas this time it had a really fast shift. Like you could feel it slam into gear, but it just didn't have anything behind it. And I think it ran a 14.4. You guys can watch the video, but
flashback.
Okay, so we made it out to mission. Made it to our white spot checkpoint that we always go to. Car ran good, no real issues. Couple hiccups, but other than that, nothing too serious. So we're gonna get some food. We drove past the line on the way in, and it was real long. So I don't know. What do you think? We should probably get into line ASAP, or yeah. Anyways, car did good, so we're gonna go get some food and then get this thing in line and hopefully tucked in before it gets dark, before I have to leave. Okay, I didn't film any of this, but we went through tech no problem. Got our stuff set up here now, and we're gonna make it into our first Dom run. So we're in Dominator class again. Our good friend Dino here with the GTO. So I think we're gonna probably do same. Maybe try and get a grudge race going here. Thank you. Uh-oh, I just got a slip light. Uh-oh. All the time we had no check engine lights, no anything. And it just threw a check engine light and slip and VDC. Talk about my luck here. Come on, tell me what it is. If it's 1720, I don't really care about it too much. There's not much we can do about that. If it's a 1320, I'm gonna be kind of worried. Because I did feel a slight stumble on the way out. Okay, here we go. Okay, so P1720. What else? Come on, tell me what else. Okay, so our fuel trim, we're adding fuel -4.6 on bank 2 and 3.9 on bank 1. Add a P1320, fuck. 2 P1320s and 2 P1720s, okay, so one of the cars had a T-top fly off and smash on the track, so we're all kind of just waiting here on standby. But as I was pulling up to the lanes, I got a check engine light, which is P1320 twice and P1720 twice. So I'm not too sure what to think about that. I'm wondering if the transmission speed sensor is going out. I hope it's not I hope it's not something in the coil. I did actually feel a little bit of a miss on the way out here. It wasn't real bad. Just at idle, a slight lump, but I'm just sweating to death here, kind of nervous. Last race day of the season. Beautiful weather though. Can't really complain even if things go wrong. But anyways, kill some time, and when things are cleaned up, we'll get back to our regular scheduled programming.
One eternity later.
Okay, so they had to kill a lot of time. A T-top flew off of a car, and they had to clean up the track for a while. So because there's a lot of people here, I don't know how many hits we're gonna get. So I really got to concentrate here, make the best of it. I don't know if I mentioned on the last clip, but our VDC slip light went on, so we have a P1320 code again and a 1720 code. So I'm a little nervous, I won't lie.
One eternity later.
Okay, so just issue after issue. One of the trucks had their transmission explode on the track, so we've been sitting here waiting, and they just cleaned it up. We're ready to go. Please, nobody else grenade their transmission or oil pan, please. We do not need any more oil spills on this track, and it's left lane too. Oh man. All right, yeah, we're waving them up so that me and Dino here can race. Okay, gotta shift. We're gonna shift at 6,000, and we're gonna shift hard. None of this pussy shit. Okay, we are going to lower these mirrors. And we're gonna lower these mirrors. So okay, tire light goes off, that's okay. Bumped a little bit. Feels good. Come on. $14 something. It hooked good. I didn't build it up nearly enough. It was a soft launch. I should have built it up more. 14 something. I couldn't see. I was looking at the tree at the end, trying to see if I could see it. 14.5, Brody just texted me. Yeah, it didn't shift good. Maybe we'll put it in 2 and let it shift itself. But yeah, 14.5. Yeah, we're probably not gonna get more than one hit in. It is disappointing, I won't lie. Car is just not there right now. Hello, 500.
There you are, sir.
Thank you.
No worries.
Alright, thanks. Okay, 14.508, 2109, 60, 9.3 to the 8th. Yeah, it's slow. Okay, so we are back in the lanes. Wasn't too long, no more grenaded transmissions on the track, hopefully. But yeah, so the car ran at 14.5. It hit limiter going into second. It did feel pretty good. I definitely didn't build it up on the launch. Just too busy thinking about, lining up with my friend and this and that. So I
I kind of told them I'm just gonna race myself this time. This is probably gonna be the last hit of the season, so I really want to make a good one. So the changes we're gonna make this time, obviously I'm gonna go on the clock. I'm not gonna wait for him to go in or anything like that. I'm gonna sit on the light and wait. And I know I always say I'll do that, but I never do. But this time I am gonna do my damnedest to not go on green. I'm gonna sit on the light and I'm gonna build it up, really launch this thing good. I'm also gonna launch it in second, and hopefully letting the car shift itself, it won't bounce limiter. Because yeah, up top it feels good. Going to third it felt good, but yeah, I don't know if that's the slightly shorter tire diameter. If the car thinks that it's higher on the rev range, you'd think that the cam sensor and all that would take care of that. It knows what RPM it's in, so I honestly don't know why it's doing that, but shouldn't be too much longer for our next hit, and yeah, we'll see how it does. Okay, got totally distracted here. So this time we're gonna leave it in second and let it shift on its own. 1, 2. We're gonna do a good burnout, and I'm gonna sit on the tree. I'm no longer racing Dino, so I'm gonna let whoever I race go, and I'm really gonna let this thing build up because the tires did their job. They hooked really good. So I don't think I gave it enough on the leave, and hopefully leaving it in 2 will it'll shift on its own a bit better here. This thing is so loud. If it's a fast car, I'm gonna let him go. Yeah, I'm gonna let him go. It's like a Hellcat or something. Okay, well, no gap cam this time. All right. Oops, sorry. Is that good? Oopsies. Okay, it felt pretty sticky. Oh, I don't know if this is slick or not. Yeah, I'm gonna let him go. That felt good. Let's go! Oh, that was a hard shift. Retrieve that motherfucker. Let's go! Oh, I hit limit at the end. It left so good. Oh, come on. Be faster than a 14.2, you motherfucker. Oh. Yeah, the tranny might need a little love. I forgot to put in a 2. Oh, I had no lights on either. Whoopsies. Woo, okay. Tranny felt okay. It went in, I shifted at like 5,800 and it went into second okay. It went into third okay. It had this kind of like, it felt like it wanted to bang into the third, but it just didn't have like torque behind it, if that makes sense. It's kind of a hard thing to explain, the feeling of it. It left really good though. No, we didn't get a text from Brody, so I don't know how fast I was. Maybe he's not spoiling it for me. Oh, come on, be something. Be something. It felt good. It left really good. And it felt like strong. It's just, I couldn't tell you. I'm nervous. I don't want to be disappointed. But hey, I'll take whatever. I know this thing probably needs a output speed sensor. It needs to drop the valve body. It needs some work. But this is the last event of the season. And it's just fun. We're just here for fun. Oh boy. Oh boy.
There you go, buddy.
Oh boy. 14.37 at 94 miles an hour. So yeah, that little hiccup into fourth. 14.37. Okay. So no personal best. 2.0 60 foot. That's the best 60 foot it's ever had. And 5.9 to the 330. 9.21 to the 8th. That's not his best 8th. So yeah, it's down on power. Well, boys, I wanted to just have this overwhelming excitement moment, but it's just not gonna happen. I think that there's something wrong with the transmission. We'll have to review the tape. But that's gonna do it for this one, boys. Lots of stuff coming up soon. I'm gonna find some tires for those welds, probably at some point. Well, I was in a 13. I left good. 2.0 60 foot. That's the best 60 foot it's ever done. But yeah, it went into second okay. I forgot to put in this 2, but I shifted at like 5,500 RPM and it went into second okay. Third, it felt like it had the bang shift, but it just like, it doesn't, like when it bang shifts and it's good, it has this like whoomph where you feel the torque come in. But this, it just went like, and it's going, like it wasn't like an aggressive, powerful shift. It just didn't go into power quickly.
End of flashback.
Anyways, afterwards, I really took my time. Took about a week before I even touched the car. And I wanted to go through the fuel rail. So I took apart the fuel rail. We'll watch some clips on that. And I cleaned all the injectors. So we got some cool videos on that as well.
Flashback.
Okay, so I got all 8 injectors out. And the video I saw on YouTube, he basically he took heat shrink and just went down, size by size until he went from a straw to a piece of fuel line. Well, the idea I had was to use one of these, which is basically it's used for like plugging unused air vacuum lines, stuff like that. And I'll never need one this big, so it was just laying around. And I saw that video, and I thought, I bet the fuel line is very similar size. So I'm gonna do this with a little edit here, since I only have one hand. So yeah, we're gonna fit this into there, and then we're gonna take our nail and we'll poke a little hole into there, just big enough for the straw. So I'll go straw into our cap, into our fuel line, and then this should be, I don't know if it'll fit snug or not, but it should be tight enough to, can I do this with one hand without disintegrating these little plastic cups? Yeah, that's pretty close. You might need something to hold it in. Yeah, it's gonna need something. But anyways, that's the idea. So then from there, once we have that secured, we'll pulse the ground, and this will act like a regular injector. And that will spray our carburetor cleaner. And one of the tricks my buddy told me is to actually spray it backwards. So we will be spraying it in through here and out through there first. And that should have any built up debris cleared. And then you spray it like normal until the spray pattern is better. But anyways, I think we should be okay. These caps are kind of looking a little beat on some of them. I'm going to talk to my buddy who's done a fair bit of injector stuff. Ask him how important those are. But anyways, that should be good for now. Let's clean these injectors up. I'll just let it run. Why not? So I have to kind of hit this with my elbow. This is very ghetto. Hold it in place. Oh yeah. That went pretty damn good. Definitely losing some pressure here with our balloon system. Can't try this one again. Or sorry, they're trying this one now. That definitely sprays good now. I think this might be the trick to just go through them quick like this. Holding on strong enough. It's got to be like right on there. There we go. I think that's gonna have to do. Okay. So this is our number 3. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna have to check the tape, but the first few sprays definitely seem, I don't know how to explain it, like thicker, more direct. So the one video I was looking for when I was trying to figure out whether I could run these without the dish or disc caps rather, and it's a injector, I think it's called Injector Clinic, I can't remember, but they kind of have a little brief summary on them, and they showed the difference between a I'm gonna pause this so I can remember the name. Okay, so the word I was looking for is pintle cap. So the pintle cap is the same style. It's like a cap that goes over this, over top of the O-ring, but the spray that comes out of it is much harder, and they illustrated this by on one of those flow rate machines. When the fluid is at the same level and they're both pulsing at the same RPM, the pintle caps are shooting liquid much further into the fluid at the bottom is being churned by the fast moving fuel, whereas the disc style caps were much more aerated. They were much more God, I haven't had enough coffee today, I'm sorry. It's more it's more of a mist. So when the particles hit the rest of the liquid at the bottom, it doesn't turn it up as much. And the first few sprays out of here definitely look more like the pintle style cap. So I'll be curious to see. When I'm done all 8 of these, I'm gonna turn it around and just, not on camera because it's too hard to do. I'm just gonna spray them backwards. Gonna hold it with one hand and just spray in the back and back purge them that way. So yeah, pretty exciting. Just gonna keep going through these, and yeah, I'll keep you guys here with me. Injector 4 here. This kind of works out well. I obviously could make this a bit better sealing and not waste as much of the fluid, but who cares? That way we can also get to see it, right? Get our tapper, tappity tap. Ooh, it's got a nice little singe on there. 12 volts ripping through this thing. Okay, here we go. Good. Yeah, I need to be pulling it back to get that pressure. It's kind of hard to do. Yeah, I've got way more oomph behind it. Okay, that seemed good. I'm gonna probably do this. I'm gonna do it through the whole ride. I just want to make sure I got all 8 first. At least one round. Got our number 6. Okay. See, I like it when it does that. There we go. Cool. Whew. That one looked good. I just want to hold it and floor it, you know what I mean? I'll probably do that on the back, on the other way. So another thing I'm going to do, and I haven't really seen anyone else do it, so it could be a total waste of time. It could also be kind of cool. But I've got a ton of red line. So before I found the store that I buy it from now, I had to buy this on Amazon, and the only way to get it to like $16 a thing was to buy 12 of them. So I got a shitload of this stuff, and it works really well. It's a PEA oil-based product, and I think what I'm going to do here is once I'm done back purging, I'm going to put a little bit into the end, this is the fuel end, Oh yeah, this would probably help to have it plugged in. Let's try this one more time. It's kind of cool. We got a nice little pool of red line coming out. So I'm going to do that to each one and just kind of have the red line sitting in there. It also seems to lubricate the O-rings, and I see that is a common trick, so this will kind of do both.
End of flashback.
I accidentally, no, I say it's accidentally, but it's really just me being an idiot. The wires on these cars are very, very short. There is no slack. The O2 sensors are very tight, and the NOx sensors are very tight. And for some reason, I felt one, and it was, even more tight than normal. Like, it looked like it was just bent over the valve cover. So I pulled on it a little bit, and it gave it a little bit of slack. I go, okay, feels a little bit better. It's not, wrenched over the side here. And then I pulled it again, and then I got a whole bunch of slack. And I was like, oh shit, that's not good. And basically what had happened is I had pulled the pins out of the back of the connector to the NOx sensor. Now, the NOx sensor is in between the upper and lower intake manifold, and it is a pain in the ass to get to. You need a new gasket. You got to take the car apart. It's it's not a huge job, but it's a pain in the ass, and I really didn't want to do that. So, I had actually read about Nissan Xterras. Some of them come supercharged, and they actually had a similar timing issue as mine, and relocating the NOx sensors fixed it. I decided that I'm not gonna, take the upper intake manifold. I'm gonna buy new connectors and new NOx sensors, and I'm gonna relocate them. So I do all that, but in the meantime, while I'm waiting on parts, I drive the car with no NOx sensors. Now the car with no NOx sensors doesn't even have a check engine light, and it feels totally normal, except for when you get to about 40% throttle. It feels like the timing issue, like it falls on its face, like, which kind of makes sense, right? If there's no way to monitor the condition, right, the knock condition, then it's gonna limit power, usually with timing. So I know on some GM cars they'll just go into limp mode if that circuit's open, but on our car it not only doesn't throw a check engine light, well, it will throw a check engine light, but it takes forever. Like, I drove, I think, like 80 kilometers and only got one light, and it was weird. Like, I had to disconnect the battery, and then when I reconnected it, then I got a bunch of codes. But driving it with just unplugged really affected no drivability at all. In fact, it actually drove better until you got to about 40% throttle, and then it, fell on its face. So, before I even put this thing back together, I knew that there was something wrong with the existing harness, the sensor, something. Like, not having the NOx sensors plugged in and having the drivability be okay told me that I didn't know if that circuit was fine before, where I had previously assumed that it was. So it kind of gave me hope, right? Like, this is directly relating to timing. It kind of makes sense, right? If it's limiting power, if the circuit is opening randomly but not enough to throw a light, then maybe that's what's causing all this stuff. We know that the grounds are not isolated, so any of these issues can manifest into like way more. So when I see something big like that on the 5-volt reference, I get excited. So anyways, I get the connectors, and we'll watch a few videos on that.
Flashback.
Okay, so I got one sensor there, I got one over here, and I was just about to plug them back in, and I noticed on the sub harness, bam, there's your problem right there. Any idea how to depin this sucker? Nissan 4-wire.
End of flashback.
But as soon as I fire it up, I go for a drive. I'll include a clip from that. and it drives really strong. It drives really good now, but it's rich, like crazy rich. You know, wide open throttle is 10.1 to 1 air fuel, and but it pulls. I unplug the battery, and at that time, that's, you know, this is right when I'm reassembling the harness, and what I had actually found was that there was a wire, a wire completely pulled out of a pin on the car side of the sub harness. So there's a sub harness, so the two knock sensors are connected, and they are on the same daisy chain as the O2 sensors and the coil packs. Now, I'm not sure what wire it does what. Honestly, after the sub harness, it kind of gets a little confusing to me. I actually don't understand it at all. It seems like they're all connected. I don't understand how that can work, but anyways, I fix everything, and I unplug the battery and reset it, and now we are like, you know, way up on the butt dyno. Like I haven't had any real time to run the draggy or anything like that, but just in the butt dyno, I can tell that we've gained a ton of torque, and that's what was lacking in those races. So I'm excited, but I also noticed that when the car is running and it's warm, and you know, everything is warmed up, but the headlights aren't on and the defroster's not on, you know, with nothing turned on, like no load at all, the car runs silent. Like, it actually is hard to even hear it with the windows up. Like, it is silent. But the second that you put any load on the motor, it gets quite loud, like louder than normal. Like, it jumps up 150 RPM instead of like 20 RPM, and it's on and off. It's not all the time. So I start researching into RF, radio frequency, you know, like interference. And apparently on some of these Toyotas, late gen, like RAV4, stuff like that, these guys will switch their conventional headlights to an LED, and the heatsink fan creates a ton of RF to the point where ABS systems pick it up and start acting weird. So, you know, and these guys have isolated grounds, right? I don't. So if I have one item on our list picking up RF and having an issue with it, then it could potentially affect others. So this is really recent. Like, this is like I literally did this yesterday. I take tin foil. This is insane, I know, follow along. I take tin foil and I wrap it on the back of the headlight housing. And I also take, these are called ferrite cores. So if you look at, like, if you have an Xbox or a USB cable, really anything, I know the OBD2 connectors off the UpRev connectors have one, but they're like a little bead. So if, like, here's your cable, right? And then the wire comes out the bottom, it'll be right at the bottom. And basically what they are is a piece of iron, ferrite, that will sit, it's like a little circle, and you can clip them around a cable. And the idea is that as I know, so there's an electric guy, there's like a, you know, a automotive electrician maybe listening to this, who's gonna kill himself listening to this idiocy, but this is my best attempt at explaining this. So the high frequency stuff for like high transfer rates, like USB cables, I know some of the power cables have them, that can create RF, and the ferrite core sits at the end. And if you know anything about like coils, that will create a magnetic field, and basically the energy that's on this line will be filtered into like a tiny little magnetic field, instead of, you know, traveling along the length of the wire. So, you know, that's a really rough explanation. I'm really sorry. But basically you can think of them as RF or EMI filters, right? You put these on the end, and the way they're supposed to work is, if you have your wire and then you put your ferrite core, you're supposed to take your wire and wrap it through it at least once. And that's how you get like really good efficiency out of these things. But if you just, you know, put them straight through, like how you see on like an Xbox cord or something, they still work. They still filter a little bit. So I bought some of these, and I put one on the LED power wire right before the anti-flicker module. And then I also put a bigger one. I got 2 different sizes. I took a bigger one and I put that on the cam sensor. So I cut back some of the heat wrap and I put the ferrite core over it. And when I turn the headlights on, you know, the RPM jumps about 30 RPM. And you can feel a little bit more load, but it's like nothing, like it's tiny. And if you put the defroster on and the AC on, like, yeah, it goes up a bit, but it's like, you know, a tenth of what it used to be. So, you know, this is really experimental stuff. This is, I've seen 2 videos on ferrite cores relating to automotive stuff, and they're both about LED lights. But here's what I'm thinking. The wires on sensors and the wires to, you know, high power stuff, I'm not going to put it on alternator cables and stuff like that, but the point is, all these ground wires, you know, people don't put them on there because these wires shouldn't have, you know, excess high frequency voltage. They shouldn't have that type of voltage going through them. But our cars are wired poorly, I'll say. They're just wired incorrectly. And they might have that. If a cam sensor or something is getting a 0.3 or 0.4 volt onto a square wave, that can cause issues, right? If you're deforming a square wave, you're gonna have issues. It might not show up right away, but it can show up in other ways. And if you have excess load, right, you add an LED headlight, and now that's creating more RF. Well, now you are deforming a square wave to the point where you will see issues. And there's no information on this. Maybe if there is, I haven't found it. So I am kind of too dumb. I'm too stupid. I'm too uneducated to like say this is gonna do something. So I'm just gonna doing it. I've got another one. I'm gonna buy another set of 6, and we're gonna put them on coil pack wires, and we're gonna put them on the 2 main engine grounds. We'll see, because if you can eliminate EMI, you know, electromagnetic interference, off of crucial components, then the car is going to run better. And they're cheap. They're like I'm buying really high quality ones, like $4, but you can get like a bag of 20 for $10. This is a total rant. I'm sorry if that was boring. I know most of you guys aren't having this issue, but I know 2 people now that are having intermittent weird 5-volt reference stuff. And I'm always looking for a solution to that, because these cars run so good when they run good and they run like shit when they don't. So anyways, yeah, I just wanted to film a intro, a 16-minute rant, and an outro. So, but yeah, big stuff coming. We're definitely going to make a lick as soon as it gets dry, which I have no idea when that will be. But according to the local weather sites, sometime next week we should have a good 3 or 4 day stint. And the DA is crazy right now. I mean, it is like negative 200 DA some nights. So yeah, maybe we'll go get that 13. But I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.